Mr. Cobb, I will remind you that you are still under oath, and Mr. McCormick, you can proceed when you're ready.
Thank you. Mr. Cobb, when we left off at the noon hour, I think we were talking about your beginning the processing of the living room.
Correct.
All right. And during that particular point in your investigation, did you observe what you would consider a protected area?
Yes, but we had to, you have to layer down all the debris, the insulation, the drywall that comes down in the process of the fire, and the overhaul activities of the fire suppression crews. You have to layer search and you have to dig down to get to the protected areas.
Okay. And in that particular case in the living room, was that done?
Yes.
All right. And then after removal of that debris, that's when you noted a protected area?
Correct, yes.
All right. And what do you mean by a protected area?
So if a surface, if an object is covered or shielded from heat energy, it won't face the same effects of that thermal energy that the exposed surface would be, that would show.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And to your knowledge, is that where the deceased body was located?
Yes, it is.
All right. And, excuse me, what did you do here then when you found that protected area?
So what we did is we stopped our excavation and our layer search. We documented thoroughly. We photographed thoroughly, both fire department investigators and GPD detectives photographed it, and then they also collected evidence in the area where in that protected area.
All right. I'm going to show you some previously admitted photographs. If we could have number 42, please. I'm showing you what's been previously entered into evidence. This is people's number 42. Does that look familiar?
Yes, it does.
Is that what you're referring to as the protected area?
Yes, the lighter colored area underneath.
Okay. 43, please. Is that the same area, just a little closer?
Yes, it
All right.
is.
Now, you had indicated that you had found what you said was evidence. Do you recall what was located in that particular area?
There was a few items of the victim's clothing, and the clothing was soaked in blood, body fluids, and it was unburned because it was in a protected area.
Okay. So is it unusual for a fire of this particular nature and intensity for you to locate blood or bloodstain material?
It's not unusual. If you layer down, layer search, typically you will find remnants of items as they were prior to the fire.
Okay. Now, as you progressed from the living room, did you also go in and examine the garage area?
I did, yes.
All right. If we could have photo 9, please. Is that the area that you, does that look familiar?
Yes.
All right. 18, please. That also look familiar?
Yes.
All right. And 19, please. That look familiar?
It does.
All right. So what did you observe in the garage regarding as to burn patterns?
So the burn patterns that are of significance here is, excuse me, you notice in that one photo that shows the man door between the kitchen and the garage, it's completely burned away. Yes, that door there, it's completely burned through. You can see the burn patterns on the side of the toolbox and also the burn patterns to the rear of the vehicle, okay? So these burn patterns indicate to me that the fire is traveling from inside the residence through the man door and extending into the garage. You'll notice in later photographs, the front of the vehicle, it wasn't even touched by the thermal energy. So if you go to that last picture, the front of the vehicle, you can tell that it is a blue car. It's not scorched. It doesn't have the thermal damage. So that lets me know that the fire progressed from inside the residence into the garage and not the other way around.
Okay. So after examining the garage, then did you go back into the residence and look in the hallway area?
I did. And there again, looking at the thermal damage patterns and mass loss, it indicates that the fire progressed from the living room into the hallway and into the 2 bedrooms.
All right. Now, through your investigation, were you advised as to the south bedroom belonging to the victim, Christopher Dickerson?
Yes,
All right. And did you have an opportunity to go in there and observe that particular bedroom?
I did.
If we could have photo 33, please. Does that look familiar?
Yes.
All right. And then 34, please. Same there.
Yes.
What were your observations while you were in that particular bedroom that belonged to Mr. Dickerson?
So the things that that stood out to me, and I made sure that I captured in the photographs. Number one was the burn patterns in the room. So here again, the smoke staining, the heat on the walls, it lets me know that the fire did not start in this bedroom. You can see up high, it's much darker, has higher heat, and as you get low, it's the normal color of the wall. I noticed that there was a bed there. On the bed was a pillow and a comforter or maybe a sleeping bag, like somebody would be, used for sleeping. And then right next to or behind the bed was the closet, and everything out of the closet that normally would be in the closet was on the bed.
Objection calls for speculation. Can we approach?
Sure.
people's, was that 34, right? That you just saw up there. When you went and examined the closet, were there any clothes or debris of burned clothes anywhere inside the closet?
You can see a couple of melted hangers, like a plastic hanger that would hang on the bar. You can see a couple of plastic hangers, and you can see where the hangers melted and the clothes fell. Okay. So there's some clothing at the bottom of the closet.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So, and you also indicated that in looking at people's 34, there was like I'm going to call it a jewelry ring box.
Yes.
All right. Now, when you began investigating that, and if we could go to 47, please. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so there's a couple things about that photograph. Is there anything that you notice in regards to the condition of that particular jewelry box?
Yes, so the condition of the interior of the jewelry box indicates that the lid was closed at the time of the fire.
Okay, and in regards to those white, see the differentiation in the white, I guess I'm going to call it soot?
Yes.
What are those called?
Those are our burn patterns.
All right. Are you familiar with the term voids?
Yes.
All right. So people's number 50. We're looking at this previously been admitted into evidence. What are we looking at here?
So this photograph depicts the mattress with all the protected areas. So in the prior photograph with clothing, bedding, other items that were there at the time of the fire, if you take them off and photograph, then it will show you the protected areas.
All right. So is it fair to state that those items were there prior to the fire being started?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Now, as upon conclusion of your investigation of the structure, do you, as an arson investigator, do you look for, or let me ask it this way, do you rule out potential causes or ignition sources?
Yes, you have to take and rule out all potential causes, electrical, lightning, accidental, fireplaces, smoking, discarded smoking material, and you have to be able to eliminate each one of those.
And in your investigation, did you conduct that rule out phase?
Yes, we did. We confirmed that there wasn't any issues or malfunctions of the gas service to the house. Atmos Energy came out, they conducted a test. There was no gas leaks, so they conducted a pressure test. We inspected the breaker panel, looking for any breakers that may have been tripped, indicating that there was an electrical issue in the house that could have potentially started the fire. We didn't find any tripped breakers or anything like that to where we would have to call in some electrical expertise. We were comfortable with what we observed in the main breaker panel, so we were able to rule out electrical, plus that coupled with what we had witnessed on the surveillance videos about where the fire had actually started.
Right. Based upon your investigation and the condition of the structure, would you consider this to be a very hot fire?
Yes. So in the progression of a fire, it will, if you start a fire in a room and it has combustibles to consume, like furniture, ordinary combustibles, wood, things of that nature, it will burn. If it cannot vent, it becomes event-limited fire, and it goes into its decay phase, and it just sits there and smolders, and it's waiting for the introduction of oxygen, and then the fire behaves very rapidly, and that's what we witnessed in the failure of that front picture window. So typically, we expect temperatures at or near the ceiling to be between 1,200 and 1,500 degrees. It gets a little bit cooler as you come down, but when you get to pre-flashover phase in a fire, which a smoldering, decaying fire would be at, you could expect 1,000 degrees from ceiling to floor.
Okay. So based upon your investigation and the information available, are you able to give an opinion as to fire cause and determination?
Yes.
And what is that opinion based on?
It is based upon all the fire patterns that were observed, the scene search and layer search, the evidence that we found there, and the surveillance video that we observed, and then the ability to rule out the other accidental causes.
And when you were doing your investigation, did you observe any unusual odors while you were examining the structure?
Well, excuse me, we did not.
Right.
I did not.
What is your opinion as to the cause of that particular fire?
Well, based upon the location of the burn patterns in the living room and the burn patterns letting us know where the fire started and how it traveled throughout the structure, that coupled with the record, the historical record that we were able to witness on the surveillance video, we knew that the fire started in that front living room, and it had to be an intentional act.
All right. And therefore, you indicate the manner of the fire was an intentional. What is your ultimate opinion as to what type of fire this was?
It was an intentional arson fire.
All right. Thank you. I don't have any further questions at this time.
All right, thank you. Any cross-examination, please go ahead.
No cross-examination. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Mr. Cobb, you can leave the witness then. Thank you, sir.